I wanted to ask you about, because you are the consummate studier, right?
Yeah.
And were you always that way, or did it take you a minute to get to where you were disciplined enough to say, this is my study time? Like after going through the course, studying, we're not done. Like there's still so much more to do and so many ways to contribute. So I want to do that in the most effective way. I'm not a super disciplined scheduler because I work great in the clutch, right? But I need to make the time. And then it's like, I have all these books sitting around. Like, what am I looking at first? And, am I studying based on what a client needs that week? Am I studying based on just adding to my repertoire? Or am I studying based on the community? Like, I'm confused, right?
That's a great question. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, when I was writing. I think some of it is very much so innate. I did
Okay.
always like reading. And that was like always my mother's response to like, go read a book. And I attribute a lot of it also to my arts background. So growing up from 6 years old to 20 something, there was an instrument, there was art, there was an art practice. At some point, there's teaching of that art too. And I never had resistance around practicing. It was like, this is what you're supposed to do. If you want improvement, then you practice. And so some of it was just that discipline of, I know I need to practice my scales if I want to get this piece down. So I don't have any resistance around doing the boring things. And then translating that into this work, of course, I enjoy it. And I also have built-in accountability where if I know like my dancing skills, I was a great tap dancer, but like we know we have a performance coming up. If I don't want to look a hot mess as the weakest ballet dancer, well, then I need to do what I need to do. So there was that built-in accountability of like, how do I prepare myself for this performance, which is the same. How do I prepare myself for this client? How do I prepare myself for this, this workshop? And herbal medicine for the soul was the biggest part of that, where it's like, I'm making this pre-commitment. So I'm like, oh, that built in accountability. So now I have an audience. The first cohort was 7 students, and I committed to a 6.5-month curriculum. Here we go. Like the spiritual work of that too is spirit, give me the syllabus. That happened months before. So it's like, okay, I got the syllabus, here are my instructions, I'm pre-selling it, we're doing the social stuff, blah, 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 blah. Now comes September and it's like, oh, okay, the first class is on September 14th. Here we go. What are we doing? That really focuses your work for that week, and then the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week. And so sometimes it is too high pressure where it's like, I'm stressing myself out because I've set these deadlines, these arbitrary deadlines. Sometimes it's very beneficial where I need that built-in accountability. And because I know from my background, I will be ready no matter what it takes. I know that I will be prepared and I know that I'll offer my best. But you just get used to doing the boring stuff and you build it in. And if I have a question, and because herbalism is like, there's no one book or resource or course or person that has all info, it's so much investigating that it's like, what does this book
It
say?
really is.
Let's say, what does that say? What does that say? Oh, that's what that meant in the first book.
Right. Right.
Like, if you just said that, then I wouldn't have had to look at 18 other resources.
Right.
But you gotta love it to do that.